what we got a lot is all these questions, basically, how much net salary do you need? We had, like, for example, 1,600. Can you afford to buy a home or investment? Maximum property that you can afford with the income level, and the doctor also, how much post-tax salary do I have to get in order to have a property? So there's no, it depends. There's no real amount where Germany has a law or something that says if you don't have 2,500 euros, you're not allowed to buy a property or something. Something like this doesn't exist. So it depends on your financial situation and the property. Both have to be in line, right? And to help you with this, I think before you even can think of owning a property, you have to buy it, right? And there you have additional purchasing costs. Is what we talked about earlier. 5.5 to 15, let's call it rule of thumb, 10%. And this is really good if you have it on a bank account and you can show it to the bank. Nobody says you have to invest it. Actually, if you have a lot of money, you need to put all of this into the property. Nobody's saying this, but show it to the bank, get the mortgage done, and then you can do with the money whatever you want. If you don't need it, you can invest it somewhere else in ETFs or whatever afterwards. But having these 10% rule of thumb, additional purchasing costs, closing costs in cash is really good. So even if you have 10K net salary but nothing in the bank, it's a lot more difficult than somebody who has 2.5K net salary and 25K in the bank. Right? Second case would be much easier. So that's the first way of looking at it. How much savings do you have? Second way of looking at it would be, now you can buy it. Let's say you have you have enough in order to buy it. Now the second question, can you afford it actually on a monthly basis? Because we talked about a negative cash flow thing earlier. And here, really rule of thumb, 6% is of the property value is kind of what you have to pay every year. 2% principal and 4% interest. Maybe only 3.5. Okay, then it's 5.5% of the. It's not going to make a huge difference on a monthly basis, right? It's going to be 10, 20, maybe 100 euros different or something. That's not talk about enormous amounts here. So 6% per year. If you buy a property for 100K, 6% would be 6,000 per year, which is 500 per month. Right? That's kind of what you can expect. And then, of course, the question is how much rental income do you get?
Yeah, and also the household calculation. First, you have to really see your financial status. Is what usually the bank does, or your financial advisor, or we say this is how much you're making, right? These are your expenses, and these are your expenses, and out of these expenses, how much are you willing, or can you afford to pay in additional payment, right? So even if you're making I don't know, what was the example here, 1.6K or 2K net, obviously you're not gonna go for a 500K property, okay? So even if you're having the down payment, still doesn't make sense, right? And as Axel says, you don't have to pitch in with the whole money. Just show it to the bank, do what you need to pay, okay? The additional costs, the Kaufnebenkosten. But yeah, you just have to kind of be realistic, let's say it that way, right?
I mean, the 1,600 net here, this one is actually a good example. When we come to the 6%, we had 500 euros per month for 100K property, right? If he would buy or try to buy the 500K property that you mentioned, then we just take it by 5. So then it's 2,500 only in mortgage. It's like 900 euros more than his net income. It's not going to work. It's not, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
No. I mean, you're going to realize also by yourself.
It's not going to work because you have food, all that other stuff that you have to buy, right? And then I think when we come to, okay, 500 euro for every 100K in property, then the question is, do you buy a home or do you buy an investment property? Because if it's a home, what you probably want to do is have 30% of your household net income as living costs. And that means total living costs. That means your mortgage, Hausgeld, what you mentioned earlier, food, repairs that you have to do, all that type of stuff should be right around 30% of your household income, and not only on the mortgage. And now you're saying, but Axel, that means that I have to earn a lot of money in order to afford 500K property that you mentioned. Yeah, that's
That's how it is.
it's unfortunately true. Yeah, it's unfortunately true. That's why you said earlier, rather buy a small rental property and then leverage from there to maybe get the 500K home. Yeah.
But even if you're making let's say 2K, okay, net.
Yeah.
And then you said you bought a smaller property, let's say for 80, 90K. Okay.
Yeah.
And then after a year, you're going again for another investment property. Then it's a different story, right? Because you're having 2 investment property by that time, and then you want to buy your primary home. Then the bank looks different. Even if you're still making your 2K net, they're kind of saying, okay, it has to make sense, right? So the other one might be already in cash flow positive. The other one, you already increased the rent, so it's kind of a minimum additional cost, but it's easier.
Because of the free equity that we said earlier, yeah.
Yes, but yeah, I think, to be honest, don't think you have to make a bunch of money to start with real estate. I think it's just get an expert, get an opinion. I mean,
start small.
Yeah, but even ask us if you're not sure about that. Jump into a call with us or write us an email, and yeah, we can actually calculate everything for you. Yeah.
And if you want to start really small, German real estate allows you to invest with 100 euros only. And then this gives you time to save more money. And once you get the first profits from the tokens, basically, you can reinvest it or save that towards your equity, towards a down payment. And then maybe in a year or two, your situation will look completely different. And then you may have enough money to buy a property on your own.
Yeah, totally. The most important is to start. That's the hardest way. Again, it's to start. Even if you earn a little bit less than you could earn in 2 years, but at least you started.
Yeah.